And one of the questions he just kind of stopped me and said, John, like, what do you use like every week? What are the tools? What are the programs? Are they online? Or is it all hardware? What are you using? I've been around the church for a while, and there's just been so many platforms that have come and gone, and right when you start to love one and really trust one, it tweaks a little bit and changes and makes it a little less user-friendly sometimes. So I decided that while I walked him through kind of what I used that day, and I decided I want to make a video specifically on that today, the tools, the things that I use on a daily basis. Hey everybody, my name is John Dahl, one of the founders of Red River Leadership, and it's just me today. Usually on Fridays we'd have what's called questions and answers Q&A with Red River Leadership with me and Nolan Weiss. And Nolan Weiss is on vacation today, so you get me today. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is some of the nuts and bolts, some of the actual programs that I use on a daily basis to do church online well, to do my job well. And so we'll dig into that here shortly. If you're brand new, never heard of me or Nolan or Red River Leadership before, Red River Leadership is an online platform for helping churches manage technology, helping churches take the baby steps to improve their technology, to improve what worship online looks like, to just improve all the ways that we can be the church in new ways. So welcome if you're brand new. I want to jump right in. I had a volunteer from another church come and do a site visit at my home church here, Good Shepherd in Moorhead. And he came in last week, and so I took him on a little tutorial of kind of what we do every week, the gear that we use in our sanctuary, kind of what it looks like. So if you're interested in doing that, please reach out to me anytime. If you're in the Moorhead area, Fargo-Moorhead area, if you're further south in Alexandria, Minnesota area, feel free to reach out. Nolan can take you on a tour of his space as well, but we're here to help in any ways that we can. So anyways, he was here and we had a great conversation. We were digging into how we do things, why we do things the way that we do. And one of the questions he just kind of stopped me and said, John, like, what do you use like every week? What are the tools? What are the programs? Are they online? Or is it all hardware? What are you using? I've been around the church for a while, and there's just been so many platforms that have come and gone, and right when you start to love one and really trust one, it tweaks a little bit and changes and makes it a little less user-friendly sometimes. So I decided that while I walked him through kind of what I used that day, and I decided I want to make a video specifically on that today, the tools, the things that I use on a daily basis. So just to start, for graphic design, I do a lot of our graphic design work. So if you're watching any of our worships online, you'll see every now and then there's different graphics with text and logos and colors and motion on it. A lot of our graphics I build on Canva.com. I used to use Adobe Photoshop, and I still do for a few things here and there, but I just found that Canva, it's an online platform. So you can go in and you can make your graphic and you can send it to your team and they can make their tweaks on it. It's very mobile friendly. If I have a flash of inspiration on the fly, I can pull up my app and do it right on my phone and start designing something, and then later pull up on my computer and kind of dial it in, do the things I want to do. So Canva.com, I love their platform. It's very intuitive. It's always adding new features. So really encourage you to check that one out, Canva.com. For video editing, what I use is, so once our graphics are made, and this is kind of speaking more specifically to church online and what we do online, for video editing, whether it's interviews or it's your sermon or you're putting out daily devos, or right now we're doing all pre-recorded at Good Shepherd still. So one of the platforms I use for that, the program I use for that, is Final Cut. And I was a big iMovie guy because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was brand new, and I had a Mac, and that comes free on Macs, iMovie does. But quickly I ran into the limitations that it has. And I found that I couldn't design the things I wanted to design. I couldn't make it flow the way I wanted to make it flow visually. And so I did a lot of research, and there are some really good ones out there. There's DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, and then Final Cut. Those were kind of the top 3 that I had found. And Final Cut, from all the reviews that I read, a lot of the guys said, I used to do iMovie and it was like the next natural step up. Final Cut Pro is made by Apple, so it kind of has a similar feel in the way that the platform, that the interface is designed, and its usability. So I went with Final Cut, and I love it. There's a lot of really good features built into it. DaVinci Resolve would be my close number 2. I'm considering moving to that only because a lot of the people that I do projects with, especially Nolan would say DaVinci Resolve is what he uses. And our other video editor, one of the guys here at Good Shepherd, also uses DaVinci Resolve, and it's free, so that's the big kicker there. Final Cut Pro is $300, one-time fee. So you do have to pay for that one. But DaVinci Resolve is probably, I'm going to dabble in that a little bit moving forward. I have all my presets and everything dialed in on Final Cut right now. So it'll be, once I feel like I have some time to like make the jump to another platform, I'll probably move to DaVinci Resolve. They do a really nice job. And DaVinci Resolve is made by Blackmagic, and Blackmagic is just a really solid video production company. So you know that there's a lot of strength behind their platform and what they do. For audio editing, again, all of our stuff is pre-recorded. So we record it, our team comes in and records, and I use a multi-track recorder and editor called Adobe Audition. And we had bought into Adobe a couple years ago as a church, and so we had the suite already. So we went to pre-recorded and needed to start recording things better. Adobe Audition was already on my computer, so I just jumped into that, and I love it. There's a lot of really good features with it. If you have a Mac already, you probably have GarageBand on your computer, so that's a great free option. And there's other free options out there, Pro Tools and things that you can look into. But if you already have the Adobe Suite by any chance, then you'll have Adobe Audition. And I love it. Like I said, it works really well. There's a lot of nice presets in there, effects and things that you can use. But there's a ton of different ways you can go with audio specifically. The next program or tool that I'll talk about is Dropbox. And there's a big conversation kind of happening within designers, just in terms of overall workflow, file management. We've all moved to the cloud-based technologies now, so there's Google Drive, if you're Microsoft, there's Microsoft OneDrive. And I had used Dropbox a long time ago, and I really liked it. I liked the features that the company came out with. So it is kind of a standalone, whereas if you're using Google Drive, you're probably already using Google Workspace, Google Email, things like that, and it just kind of is just another feature that comes along with those subscriptions. And that's the same thing with Microsoft with the OneDrive. If you're a Microsoft or Office 365 user, you'll find that you can use Microsoft Teams and then the OneDrive then as well. But I really love Dropbox, and just to dig into that just a little bit, the reason we moved to it as a church, we had before a server that sat in our server room that we backed up all of our files on that we used. The problem is that I had to be on site to use that server. And so what we started doing was figuring out how to remote log into the server, and it worked fine. This was 3-4 years ago now. It worked fine, but it was always glitchy, and I'd be at home trying to log into on-site, trying to log into Good Shepherd's server room, and I always had issues. It would always log me out, and it just wasn't very consistent and stable. So we moved to Dropbox altogether. So our whole team saves and stores everything on Dropbox now, and what I love about that is that it has an integration right within your computer, right within your file management system. So if you're on a Mac, you'd click on your Finder window where you'd have all your files come up. You can find your documents, desktop, everything else. And it has now Dropbox is an item in there. So you can click on your Dropbox. It opens up your entire web-based Dropbox folder, which is awesome because then I can pull up projects that I started working on at church, and then I can pull it up at home later that night to continue to work on it. Or vice versa, if I start something at home, I can pick it up right where I left off right here at the church or at a coffee shop, wherever you're at working off-site at. And it was just really seamless. So once you finish a project or you're working on a project, you save it to your Dropbox folder. It automatically starts uploading it to the cloud. And what's really cool is that you can set it up so it lives on the cloud, so it doesn't live and take up hard drive space on your computer. So a lot of times people that are working on bigger projects, especially with video and different design projects, they're going to have where their computer gets full quick because they don't have a lot of space directly on their computer. So you can set it up where it lives all up in the cloud and you can access it from anywhere, anytime. So Dropbox, definitely recommend it. But again, do your research on it. If you're already deep into Google, using their email, using any other features they have, or deep into Microsoft or Office 365, do your research, because Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive, they have very similar features as well on their products. So we want it to make sense with your workflow, so that way you don't have to rethink how you're saving things, where you're putting things, how it works. And if you have nothing set up at all yet, feel free to call me, feel free to email us. We can walk you through what we'd recommend just for your church's file storage and kind of how that works. It's been a lot of trial and error. We tried a few different things, and over the years we've gone up. That just works better, so we're going to go that direction. And I'd be happy to have that conversation with you and what I'd recommend. One of the other tools that I use every week, and this also is something I started using once we were pre-recording and putting everything out every single week for online worship, I started using what's called Restream. So that's Restream.io. And what we did there, so we came into the problem where we were able to stream to Facebook, but we couldn't figure out how to stream to both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And that's a whole other video of why we chose those platforms that we did. But for sure, YouTube and Facebook is what we use each and every week. And I needed to figure out a solution of how to get our worship experience streaming to both locations at the same time. And I also needed to figure out how, since we were pre-recording everything and editing it all together, putting it together each week using the programs I've talked about already, I needed to figure out how to get that video now onto Facebook and YouTube. And we had been doing it for a while, where I was just uploading the videos individually to each platform and using kind of the premier features of Facebook and YouTube. And we found that the way the algorithms work on Facebook and YouTube, that it's better if we can be streaming live, because it'll send that notification out, hey, Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd is live right now, tune in, see what they're up to. And we just found that the live videos on both platforms seem to get higher viewership. We're not sure why altogether, but we know it has to do with the algorithms. And so we just followed the numbers and went, okay, these are working better. We need to figure out a way to stream to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So I found what's called Restream. And from there, we're able to upload directly to Restream. So I upload the video one time, and we do a traditional video and a contemporary video. So we would upload, I'll upload a contemporary and then our traditional video, so two different videos. And then you can schedule them for when they go live, on what platform they go live on. We've never had an issue with Restream. For a while, especially last year when COVID hit, every church in the world was trying to stream and upload videos for the first time ever, and both YouTube and Facebook had tons of errors and errors uploading videos and putting them out. I have not had that issue at all with Restream. Granted, both of those platforms beefed up what they did for streaming technologies and how they're able to handle video quickly after they had those issues of the beginning of COVID last year. But Restream, we upload them, we schedule them, and then when they're done and ready to go, they just go automatically on Sunday morning. So that's been a great tool for us to use, Restream.io. So if you have any of the issues I just explained kind of in my story, definitely encourage you to check that out. And if you have any questions on how it works, there's great tutorials online, but we are always here for you as well. So feel free to reach out. Well, I hope that some of these tools helped you today, and if some of them seem to check some boxes of some issues that you might be having, or just the workflow struggles that we all are trying to figure out how to clean things up, how to systemize things, how to streamline things more. If any of these tools are helpful for you, that's awesome. And again, if you have any questions on any of them, please reach out to me. And let us know how we can help you. And there's no dumb questions. I spent days, hours just Googling, how does this work, and what's better than what, and what's better over here, what's better over there. And I spent a lot of time failing through it and just figuring it out and going, okay, these are the best ways to do this and that. So dig in, do your research, contact us. You are not alone. We are here for you. Yeah, I think that's all I've got for today. Those are some of the tools. Let's pray together here quick, and then God bless you on the rest of your day. Dear God, thank you so much for the tools and the programs and the things that you give us to get your message out to the world in new ways. Our world is changing so fast, and we as the church have such a big call to change with the world and to move forward through these different changes and continue to keep your name being glorified every single week, every single day. God, help us know as the church that we can't be afraid of these new technologies, and we need to embrace them, dig through them, and use them for your good. God, we are so thankful for you. If we're in a tough spot right now, if we're feeling just down, drained, and tired, God, give us the strength that we need to move forward. Give us the strength that we need to either forgive and forget, or to just dig in and not be afraid of the things that are in front of us. God, we know that you are there at every step of the way. God, we thank you and we love you. All God's people said, amen. God bless you guys. Reach out to us anytime. Again, my name is John Dahl with Red River Leadership. You can email us at redriverworship@gmail.com, or you can find more information at redriverworship.com. God bless you. We'll see you soon.